On this edition of Lexington Now, Kelley's Landing, Streetfest, and affordable housing. I'm Neil Noah. Welcome to Lexington Now for the week of May 6, 2024. For the first time, Lexington residents will have public access to recreation on the Kentucky River in Fayette County. Ground was broken on Kelley's Landing, opening new and unique recreational opportunities for Lexington.
Welcome to Kelley's Landing, Lexington's first public river park. No kidding. This has been a labor of love. So we are planning to open this fall, and I know that there are people all over town who cannot wait to put their kayak or their canoe in this water. I know that John Kelley is here in spirit, and we've honored him by naming this park Kelley's Landing. I began working on this project my first day in office, in the mayor's office, and I am thrilled that it's finally happening. Monica Conrad and I started conversation, which led to negotiations with the Kelley family in 2019, my first year. Our progress was slowed by the pandemic, but we announced the sale in the spring of 2022. And since then, we've been working on site preparation. And one of the great things about this that I want to mention is that this land was purchased using the Parks Acquisition Fund, which is money which developers pay when they develop property. So then they pay some into the acquisition fund. Kelley's Landing will provide new opportunities for recreation in Lexington. There will be walking trails, and those who love kayaks and canoes will have a place to get onto the Kentucky River and travel 12 miles from lock to lock. This will be the only public access to the river in Fayette County.
I want to share a quick story with you that illustrates what goes around, comes around. Years ago, and I stress years ago, my then boyfriend and now my husband and a couple of his fraternity brothers purchased a small runabout. I don't know why I said runabout, because it seldom ran. And they docked the boat here at this dock that the Kelleys owned. I spent many hours in the same place waiting for them to get the boat running, which it probably did maybe one time. Actually sitting in the same spot today, taking in the same beautiful view of the river and its shoreline, is a very fond memory. In the end of that other story is the roundabout eventually sank here, and it had to be pulled out and was a total loss. But that, no, it was a long time ago, but it did. But that is the memory of the past, and today is a milestone for the future. Kelley's Landing is an exciting and most unique addition for our city and our region. And as I said at the beginning, the 12th district, I'm thrilled.
The Fund for Greater Lexington is investing $150,000 in a master plan for this property. The Fund for Greater Lexington's investment will allow us to open the park sooner, with a great plan in place to match our community's needs.
The residents of Lexington will have what many cities take for granted, a riverfront park. To support this vision, we are so thrilled to announce today that the Fund for Greater Lexington, in collaboration with the Parks Department, has hired Gresham Smith, an experienced and well-respected design firm, to create the Kelley's Landing Master Plan.
Together with the Fund for Greater Lexington, we'll be engaging the community to transform 30 acres of natural space here at Kelley's Landing. The master plan here will be a guiding document for future development. The park will have a natural areas designation, including a mission to preserve the beauty of the region, highlighting important historical features and cultural connections and providing opportunities for visitors seeking outdoor adventure. We will also explore educational opportunities, watershed and water quality education, curriculum-based environmental education programs, and learning about the landforms, geology, and the towering limestone cliffs of the Kentucky River Palisades. Adventure programming, as I mentioned, that education will also be a key component of our work here at Kelley's Landing. Our day would not be complete without recognizing the Kelley family. John Kelley's grandparents purchased this property 100 years ago this year. That's a milestone that we will continue to recognize and really appreciate them entrusting this land to Lexington Parks and Recreation.
3, 2, 1. Yeah.
The third annual Streetfest is this weekend. Julia Moggins tells us what this family-friendly event is all about.
Streetfest is a celebration of all things alternative transportation. So essentially what we've done is we've taken Oliver Lewis Way and we've closed it off from High Street to Broadway, and it's from 10 a.m. to noon, and the whole street is closed off, and we will have vendors out there that are part of organizations related to cycling, walking, all things alternative transportation. And because the street is closed off, people will be allowed to bike and skate and scoot and all of the different wheelie transportations that they could possibly think of minus cars. We'll have an obstacle course at one end, and we'll have games throughout the day, and there will also be donuts and coffee there for people to purchase. So stay caffeinated, stay moving, have a good time. So what got Streetfest started was there used to be a sort of similar program back in the olden days before I started here, where it was a similar, people could come out on the streets and bring their bicycles, and it was a regular thing that people really seemed to enjoy. And so before I took over this event, my coworkers wanted to sort of emulate that in something that made sense for us. And so this is the third year that it will be happening. And the goal is really just to get people out on the street and to help them feel safe and feel like they belong in a world that is very car-centric. At Streetfest, we will have the different bike shops will be out there. We'll have Broom Wagon and Pedal Power, and they'll be there to provide free bike tune-ups, free wheel tune-ups, whatever you need. And we'll also have an obstacle course set up at one end for people who think that they want something a little bit more challenging than just going in a circle. We had that last year and it proved to be a really big hit. We'll also have a bounce house available for children of all ages, and other things that we'll have different vendors that are part of alternative transportation related genres. So we'll have, I already mentioned Brooks Spoke and the bike shops. We'll have the Bluegrass Cycling Club will be out there. Front Runners will have a table, things like that, organizations like that. And so you'll be able to get out and sort of meet and kind of gain a deeper understanding of what kinds of resources are available to you as someone who's looking for more access to alternative transportation in Lexington. So that's really cool, and we're really grateful for everyone who's partnering with us on that. We'll also have coffee and donuts available for purchase via Chaotic Good and Bella's Mini Donuts. So if you get hungry at all during that prime brunch hour, you'll have food available. And we'll also be having games on the half-hour marks, so you'll have that to look forward to. And of course, there will be music blasting in the background to create a beautiful ambiance. Streetfest is on May 11th from 10 a.m. to noon. Please come out. It'll be lots of fun. We'll have games, we'll have food, we'll have all the space that you could possibly want to bike, skate, scoot around. It should be a good time.
Pemberton Townhomes are officially open. We'll take you there after this.
Hello everyone, I'm Tiffany Brown, Equity and Implementation Officer in the Mayor's Office. and chair of the A Sense of Place Committee. I'm here today to talk about A Sense of Place, an initiative dedicated to preserving the history of Lexington's rural Black hamlets and celebrating those that remain active today. More than 20 historic Black hamlets have been identified in Fayette County. Most are located in rural areas. Our historic hamlets have been and are home to generations of lived experiences, traditions, and culture. Houses, churches, schools, grocery stores, agricultural enterprises, and lodge halls for community gatherings were found in many hamlets. A Sense of Place is a partnership between community members with direct connection to our hamlets and the city of Lexington. Its goal is to raise awareness about what the hamlets represent and to identify steps that are needed to take to preserve their history. The A Sense of Place Committee includes local historian Yvonne Giles, local historian Calvin Graves, Executive Director of the Lexington History Museum Mandy Higgins, Haydentown resident Dr. Alvin Seals, Haydentown Baptist Church pastor Reverend Leon Slatter, and others. With support from members of the Haydentown community, A Sense of Place is currently raising funds for maintenance updates and programming of the Haydentown Rosenwald School and property located at 705 Hayden Lane. In the early 2000s, members of the Haydentown community worked with the city to preserve the school. In the early 20th century, Rosenwald schools were found across the South, serving rural Black children and families during segregation. Many of the buildings have been destroyed. Lexington is proud that the Haydentown School still stands and wants to preserve the history and significance that so many of these schools have had in our hamlet communities. The funds will complete the restoration of the school and upgrade the historic cemetery and church building. The school will permanently house artifacts that tell the story of Lexington's hamlet. We hope you will join us.
Welcome back to Lexington Now. Mayor Gorton and other officials cut the ribbon to officially open 5 new townhomes at the corner of Pemberton and 6th Streets. We were there for the ceremony.
With this partnership between the city and the Housing Authority, Home Dollars, the Mayor's Affordable Housing Trust Fund, there are lots of folks behind the scenes that make this project successful. We're excited this morning as we prepare to cut the ribbon on the latest 5 units of affordable housing that we have developed in this city. Continue to build affordable housing units that are indistinguishable from the private market. Would you not agree with these vibrant colors? These vibrant colors are a stark difference from the red brick row housing we have become accustomed to. It seems like just yesterday when we celebrated the opening of 6 units just 2 blocks from here. In fact, it was just 10 months ago. It's like this is becoming a habit. And you know what? That's not at all a bad idea. We're excited this morning because we can house 5 families who are without housing, giving them a place to call home. 2 of those families will be moving in this afternoon. We're excited this morning because this development reflects what we can do with partnerships. The Urban County government funded our development, and we will provide vouchers and case management. The units are guaranteed for the next 20 years to address those who have been unhoused.
Today we're celebrating the opening of 5 new townhouses, new affordable homes for 5 families. Once again, the city and the Lexington Fayette Urban County Housing Authority are working together. Austin, I am so proud of our partnership, which has been going on a long time. By working together, we've helped a lot of people, many of them right here in the East End neighborhood. We all understand the importance of and need for more affordable housing in our city. It helps us build strong residents and a vibrant community. These they are really nice. I had a little quick tour before this. These nice quality built townhomes will house families who are homeless or at risk of homelessness. These units are designed for people who have struggled with homelessness for many years, and they need supportive services also. The Housing Authority is currently working with our city's continuum of care to identify eligible residents. We all know that affordable housing is a growing challenge, and we could not meet the demands of the future without our partners, including the Housing Authority, nonprofits, as well as the private sector. Since 2014, and I'm very proud to have been the vice mayor then, when we established our Affordable Housing Fund. Since then, we have invested $47 million in city money in the construction of or the preservation of 3,487 units. That $47 million, see, here's the beauty, the real beauty, has leveraged another $431 million from our private and other public sources. A lot of money.
What an honor it is. And I am standing on the shoulders of Council Member James Brown, who put this into motion before I took this seat. And so what a privilege it is to be standing here. These houses right back here, now you hear me talk about affordability to affordable housing. We're living in affordability. We have some families that will move into these homes. It has given a facelift to the East End area. And I am so excited. I can't wait for Miss Sharon Price and her community action to go in full boom and full steam ahead as we help children that will be attending, preschool. This is not just one sector of housing. This is a whole community uprising. Divine Karama, it will help as we move toward lessening gun violence. It all ties in.
Yes, ma'am.
So when we talk about housing, and even though we're in the East End area, we will have people drive up and down Pemberton, up and down 6th Street, and they will look over and see the wonderful housing units that are here, and then to the families that will be moving in. When our self-esteem is built, when God is leading the way, and you see how he stopped that. I leaned over to Council Brown and I said, I'm going to send up a quick prayer for the rain to stop. And Council Brown leaned over and said, and prayer worked. And so that's how I feel. As long as we're marching, and we're marching in direct order, when we're marching and we're lifting our voices and we're standing together and we look like a community and we act like a community, we become a community.
Yes, ma'am.
I see this as a follow-up to the promise that we made when I was on council and the mayor made when we did a ribbon cutting on the Legacy Trail right in front of the Lyric just a few years ago. And it was that we were going to continue to come to this neighborhood, cut ribbons, break ground, and do things that not only feel good and are amenities and good aesthetics for the neighborhood, but things that really impacts and changes people's lives, like this development today, which is addressing the most basic need, which is housing. So I just want to thank Mr. Sims and his team for all their continued work in the community and everything that they do. I'd like to thank the mayor and the council for continuing to make a financial commitment to this community, to this neighborhood, and to affordable housing. I'm excited today, not just for this project, but also for the work to come right down the street. So with that, I'll just say thank you all for being here, and thank you for continuing to support us in this community as we look to make it better for the folks that live here. Thank you.
We continue our look at Mayor Gorton's proposed budget for the coming fiscal year. This week, we bring you part 3.
All of the projects budgeted will be implemented through the hard work of our outstanding city employees. For employees who are not covered by collective bargaining contracts, I have included a well-deserved 3% raise. At the 30,000-foot level, this budget includes approximately $110 million in planned capital spending across all funds and sources, and I'll discuss some of that investment later. At ground level, though, it all comes down to people, right? I'm going to talk about this budget today through the lens of how it improves services for our people. Let's start with seniors, a growing part of our community. We learned from the recent census that 25 of our residents right here in Fayette County are 55 or older. Seniors love our senior centers. Our newest center, located off Richmond Road, is almost too popular. Over 1,200 seniors attend classes or eat lunch or exercise or participate in other activity there every month. 3 years ago, we started making plans for one facility that houses a senior center just for seniors, as well as a therapeutic recreation center, which will serve everyone above age 5 with disabilities, with dedicated times for seniors. To keep costs down, we chose land we already owned in Shiloh Park, and last year we funded the design of the facility. So this year, it's time to build. This budget has $24 million set aside for construction, which should begin in the fall.
This week brings a busy slate of live meetings here on Lex TV and streaming on our website. And remember, you can find all the most accurate and up-to-date information on all city business at lexingtonky.gov. Here's this week's meeting coverage. That's all for now, but as always, you can keep up with us on social media. Check out the latest traffic updates on X at LexRex, or catch our live traffic cams on lexingtonky.gov. For all of us at Lex TV, I'm Neil Noah, and that's it.